Good day, everyone. Right, I'm taking a look now at issue 41 of Dungeon Magazine, in particular an adventure there called Old Man Katan and the Incredible Edible Dancing Mushroom Band. Quite a long-winded title, to be sure. It's written by a fellow called Ted James Thomas Hewick, and with artwork by a chap called Terry Dykstra. Now, basically, the storyline is this: there was a battle in a swamp many years ago, and one of the soldiers who got killed in the battle and died and got buried under the silt carried with him a flask of growth potion. As the years went by, the stopper keeping the potion inside the bottle decayed, and eventually the liquid flooded out into a small pool where mosquitoes resided, and the growth potion acted upon them and turned them into giant size. When that happened, then they became quite ferocious and attacked much of anything that was in the neighbourhood. And there's a creature called a bog monster who encountered this mosquitoes and decided to, or somehow, control them. And under his control now, he's more or less driven every creature in the swamp area away. And some of the creatures there are called campestry, which is kind of a toadstool creature, and they know that they need somebody to help with the menace that's infecting the swamp itself. And they stumble upon Old Man Katan, and they hang around him because they realise that he smokes very smelly cigars, and these cigars smoke keeps the mosquitoes away. So the longer they've stayed with him, the more attached they have become with him, and so on. And the problem he has is this annoying campestry keep hanging about playing practical jokes on him, and stopped him from fishing in the swamp on some occasions. What he doesn't realise is that they stop him from fishing in order to get him to smoke one of their cigars, because the smoke fends away the approaching danger of the mosquitoes, a fact that he's not very well acquainted with, and he doesn't realise what they are doing for him. As far as he's concerned, they're just annoying little monsters that couldn't do well with getting rid of. Um, there's an incident that happened in his past, so anybody who approaches him makes him quite paranoid, and he thinks that the assassin's coming to get him. So at the time that the playing characters enter into the scenario, they see him running around a clearing with nothing but a towel around his waist. He's been having a bath, and he's shouting at the top of his voice, and they've taken some of his clothes and they run away, so he immediately jumps out and gives chase to them. And this is the point where the playing characters come in to see the extraordinary sight of an old man with a towel around his waist being chased or chasing campestries or toadstool mushroom type creatures. I'm trying to call them mushrooms, I keep saying toadstools, so forgive me if I go from one thing to another. Anyhow, there's inherent ridiculousness in this situation, and the PCs are immediately sort of taken aback, I should imagine. So there's a lot of interactive role playing with this guy, trying to persuade him that they're not assassins, and he's trying to find out then what the situation is with the mushrooms, which he explains are annoyances, but they're such friendly creatures that the PC probably would be hard put to do any killing or slaying unless they had a sort of a mind. So they find out then that there's the bog monster who's controlling the mosquitoes, so they have to go into the swamp and try and either stop him. When they do encounter the bog monster, they probably will discover that the monster itself is just nothing more than a child, and so they have a lot of role play in there to try and persuade a hulking child, if you like, from stop doing all the things he does with the mosquitoes. And once understanding occurs, then the bog monster will probably get rid of the mosquitoes um, somehow. It's up to the dungeon master to describe that particular scenario. Right, so that's basically it, really. The fact is, the adventure is inherently ridiculous, brings that humour to the fore. There's no big punchline jokes going on there. It's just the ridiculousness of seeing mushrooms running around the place, playing practical jokes on the Old Man Katan and probably on the playing characters themselves as well. There's a nice sort of gentle humour in it, and that's where most of the fun comes from, in the interactions with the characters in this particular adventure. By and large, it does succeed, and I have found that when you put humour in the models or the adventure models in Dungeon Magazine, they do work. But if you put them in an official TSR product back in the day, they fall rather flatter than a witch's breast, I would say. I'll give you an example. Is Gargoyle. It's one of the worst models going, and the humour in there is about as funny as being smashed on the face by a brickbat. So, then also Castle Greyhawk is another example. So when you get humour in the main models that are produced, they are just too heavy-handed. So, but so when they come to Dungeon Magazine, they work, and they work quite well. So this is a fun little adventure. You can insert it into the main campaign just to give it relief to the seriousness of the campaign, or if you haven't got enough people turning up on a gaming night, then you could just throw this in as a little bit of light relief, just to take the edge off the night, as it were. So yes, it's enjoyable, and I had great fun running this particular adventure back in the day. And I would certainly suggest you picking this up and having a go with it and see how it plays out for you in your campaign. Right, thank you very much for listening. Have a good day and rock on.